the title of this talk is Lessons About Disruption. One of the things I've learned is that technique follows technology. You know, I've been going down this IT road for a long time, about 45 years now, and we simply don't know today where technology is going to take us. We think we know, but we don't know. Alexander Graham Bell thought the telephone would be a tool for the deaf. Edison thought the phonograph would be a dictation machine. They didn't know where technology would take them. When Martin Cooper invented the cell phone, anybody remember those bricks? You have those, right? When he invented the cell phone, he had no idea that we'd have 7.3 billion of them, or that Kenyan fishermen 3 miles offshore Mombasa in their sailboat without a motor would find they had cell reception and check for market prices of fish based using text messages. Choose the port based on that data and gain some market power. We really don't know where technology is going to take us next. I certainly learned that at Sabre, where I was CIO, where we took the reservation system of American that had schedules and fares, and because of inexpensive terminals and inexpensive connectivity, we went out to revolutionize travel agents. And we took them from the OAG and the telephone to using terminals, and suddenly they went from 40% market share to 80% market share in a very short period of time, disrupting an entire industry. And then, you know, the internet came along and information found its freedom. Information escaped. It was being beamed to us all the time, and as customers, we were empowered by that information. But remember that pretty much in those days, information only flowed one direction, from the website to us. And websites were pretty simple, right? That's the first Yahoo page. That's the first Travelocity page. Pretty simple, and yet connectivity equals opportunity. I'd say that's the next big thing to think about in disruption. How much connectivity has created opportunity? Think of all the industries that were destroyed by that connectivity: music, maps, news, the yellow pages. Even with that simple connectivity, 18,000 travel agents out of business, so that 80% share disappeared almost overnight, right? And then users began to create information. That was, in my opinion, the next big change, because information began to flow in two directions. People started blogging and selling and rating. My friend Rich Barton, who started Expedia and Zillow and Glassdoor, says if it can be rated, it will be rated. So people started sharing experiences about buying, but no longer one-to-one over the backyard fence, now one-to-many over the network on sites like TripAdvisor, where they have over 130 million hotel reviews. No one goes anywhere today without reading a review. And that changed things again. It revolutionized marketing because social feedback builds trust. It used to be that marketing was in charge of consideration, but now it is the user who uses and comments and gives feedback that creates consideration of products. Two-way information changed everything. And it changed the amount of data from a stream to a torrent. At all of these meetings, people say 90% of the world's data created in the last 3 years, 80% of it unstructured, right? The last 5 years have been about connecting all these people. The next 5 years are going to be all the crazy things you can do now that they are connected, said Mark Zuckerberg. I agree, but I'd add one word: all the crazy things they can do now that they are connected. And they are doing. Martin Cooper never envisioned 7.3 billion cell phones, but he also didn't envision 7.3 billion network nodes that are creating connected businesses. Airbnb, now the world's largest hotel chain; Uber, the largest limo company; Expedia, the world's largest travel agency, all because of connectivity. So connectivity creates a lot of opportunity. So we've gone from systems of record to systems of engagement, and now to systems of insight. And you know, the other day I was in London and I got a chance to speak to the research board. Some of you know the research board. The research board is a collection of the top CIOs of the world. And as I went in to make my talk and they asked me to speak about cognitive computing, this was up on the board. It said, insights are the strategic asset. So these CIOs looking forward are being told by their research arm that it's all about insights going forward. And I absolutely agree. That's what we're looking for at Wayblazer. That's what all of you are finding with this technology. That's what cognitive computing can provide, because a lot of what I think went on yesterday and a lot of the discussions, a lot of the booths outside are about extending human capability, about the more capable doctor, the more capable chef, the more capable salesperson. I think that's great. I think that's a terrific use for Watson. But when I look at all this unstructured data, as a B2C consumer guy, I think of something different. I think of the paradox of choice. I think of how difficult it is for consumers to sort through all this data we have in the physical world and the virtual world today. It's hard. It's really hard. So complexity equals opportunity. The complexity that was generated through that two-way world, that two-way communication, is a huge opportunity for us in business. How do we make it simple? How do we reduce complexity? Because you don't have to change the world to cause disruption. Many big innovations only affect one part of the model. Think of contact lenses. Revolutionized eyewear. We buy them the same place we bought our eyeglasses. Think of cell phones, mobile, huge revolution. We buy them basically from the same phone companies we bought them from before. Think of Travelocity. Travelocity, a registered travel agent. We just sold differently. You don't have to change every part of the model. Apple didn't invent the MP3 player or the cell phone. They just made them better. So baby steps can be okay. Kayak, we sold for $1.8 billion. All it did differently was offer choice. I'm on the board of a hotel auction company. Our whole thing is about auctions. We're the only place on the web that you can auction a hotel room. Small model, big business. I'm on the board of an attractions company. We bundle attractions together so you can go to Boston and see all of the attractions in Boston for one price. You don't have to change everything to begin to disrupt an industry. At Wayblazer, we're doing simple things as well. Hoteliers are asking us to allow you to ask a question like, great honeymoon hotels to stay this spring somewhere tropical or adventurous. You can't ask that question of any hotel site today and get a set of hotels that meet those criteria. We're also building concierge applications once you're at the hotel. What do you want to do today? Here's what's available at the hotel. These are baby steps because our customers right now are only ready for baby steps. But they're baby steps that no one else has been able to do before. That's where we're having to begin, right, with these small steps. But what comes after baby steps? Well, after baby steps, you have to look beyond what's immediately apparent. That's the next lesson. Where can we go next? I had the unfortunate task of going to the executive committee at American Airlines to propose electronic tickets. I said, we don't need tickets anymore. We can get rid of tickets. Computers are smart enough to do that. And what did they say? Our customers want tickets. What about receipts? They will never accept this idea. Leave us. Go from this room. And American was one of the last carriers to implement e-tickets. And yet today, 99% of tickets are electronic, right? And they were not only late for that, they were late for the self-service world. But why were they late? Because in real innovation, being comfortable isn't good. As you implement all these new ideas that John Kelly and the team are putting together, you should be a little uncomfortable. You should be a little scared. Because that's what it takes to move forward. The big prizes are found when you ask a question that challenges corporate orthodoxy.